Hello, I hope you had yourself an amazing day. It's yet another beautiful evening, the 7th of May 2024. It is 19:15 East African time, 7:15 in Kenya. I've started the show late once again because, of course, of the same problem that we always talk about every day. There was a power blackout. The power just came back on. I had to prepare my show for my show in haste because the power just came back on a few minutes ago. But I'm here ready to tell you about each and everything that was happening throughout the whole of Africa today, and especially the ones that concern black people, starting with Botswana. We're going to be looking at Botswana, which declined a request to host UK migrants. It is a story that happened on the 22nd of April, but there has been new development on Botswana and the UK. UK was initially asking Botswana to allow it to host its migrants, not just migrants, but also people that it did not need in the UK, including criminals in Botswana. But Botswana said that it was not gonna have any of that. So that is the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Botswana. His name is Lemogang Kwape. Is the one who declined the offer. So I'm gonna be telling you about that. I'm gonna be telling you about how Germany has detained alleged Nigerian mafia members of a gang called the Black Axe, who have been involved in multiple criminal activities globally. That is according to Bavarian police. So they are individuals aged between 29 and 53, Nigerian, who are carrying out fraudster activities in Germany. I don't know if that's true, but I know Nigerian. Some of the Nigerians who go, especially abroad, we see them in Kenya, we see them in Tanzania, are crooked. Most of the Nigerians are good, but a part of Nigeria really spoils the broth for them. I'm going to be telling you about how the US is carrying on with its plan that it announced of temporarily pulling out troops out of Chad. This is after Chad's Air Force that ordered the US to hold its activities at in Chad, that is especially in the capital. The capital is called Njandema. So the Air Force is the one that ordered the US to hold activities, and the US said that it is going to temporarily, it used the word temporarily, pull troops out of Chad. So I'm going to be telling you about that. I'm going to be telling you about the collapse of buildings in Africa. Buildings have been collapsing east, west, and everywhere. In Ethiopia, we saw a building collapse in Ethiopia that killed so many people. In South Africa, we had another building collapsing, but luckily 11 workers were found alive. So we're going to be looking at what is it with the infrastructure in Africa, and why does infrastructure in Africa never work? You look at the roads, you look at the drainage, you look at the buildings, you look at the airports, you look at the railways, you look at the schools. No infrastructure really works in Africa. That goes for the ones that the Africans themselves build, to the ones that the foreigners build. Is it a case of corruption, or is it a case of us over depending on foreign contractors to build our infrastructure? I think it's a case of both, but we are going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at the row that has been happening, the row that has been happening between Congo and Kenya, with Congo military holding two Kenya Air Force staff for 2 weeks. But after a not so diplomatic talk, the Republic of Congo's military has released the two Kenya Airways staff who are detained for 2 weeks in a cargo dispute. When I say a not so diplomatic talk, it is because they never had a talk really. It was a war of threats. I throw threats, and finally Kenya looked like it won on the war of threats, and its two staffers have been released after being held for 2 weeks. I'm going to be telling you about that. I'm also going to be telling you about how the Kenyan government today declared that it has secured a lucrative market abroad for Kenyan tea, which, if true, might be a good thing, especially considering that the president said that they are going to do value addition on the tea before exporting it to the market abroad. So if true, it might be a good thing. If not true, it's just another of the dramas and theatrics. I'm also going to be telling you about Burkina Faso and how it has now come out to say that it is investigating the northern killings. These are killings that happened in two northern villages. So first and foremost, we have established that it is in fact true that killings were carried out in Burkina Faso. 223 people were killed, and It is a case that led to a lot of tension in Burkina Faso, including the banning of BBC, the banning of BBC was banned there, so was VOA, Voice of America. So Burkina Faso army is now carrying out an investigation into the alleged killing of the 223 people. According to the Human Rights Watch, the 223 people were killed in a revenge mission by the Burkinabe army. The Burkinabe army denied that. It never denied the killings, but it denied having had any role in the killing. So it is a very cold day in Nairobi. The rains are not as heavy as they were. The weatherman is saying that the rains are gonna end by the end of this week, so you don't have to worry as much because the floods and the rains are going to decline as the week progresses. That is why it is a very cold night, but it's not raining. That is why, if you look at me, I'm dressed like somebody who was going ice skating with heavy jackets. It is a very cold day, but it is not raining, which is a good thing. So let us start looking at the theatrics and the dramas that were happening in Africa, because the African political arena is but a theatrical stage. We always serve us theatrics and dramas and um, circuses. It is literally what the Romans said: give them bread and circuses, and they shall never revolt. So they serve us enough circuses every day, enough theatrics, enough dramas to make us forget our problems. So in Botswana, Botswana declined a request to host UK migrants. This is according to Mr. Kwape, who is Botswana's foreign minister. He said that Botswana was unable to accept migrants from Britain because it was dealing with its own immigration issues. So he said on an interview with a South African TV channel that the British government approached his country first before going to Rwanda, asking whether it would be willing to receive migrants deported from the UK. Of course, the request was to come with monetary benefits in that even the people who are gonna get deported, the UK government is claiming that it is gonna pay them £3,000. So even the country accommodating them might have been getting monetary benefits, but Botswana said no. We have our own issues. We are not gonna take your migrants and criminals. He didn't say when the approach was made, but it is believed the approach was made before the UK moved to Rwanda and Rwanda accepted taking the migrants. So this follows an unconfirmed reports earlier this month that the British press that the UK government was seeking to replicate its Rwanda scheme in Ivory Coast, Armenia, and Costa Rica. So when it is done deporting people to Rwanda. In This is going to happen in the next 8 to 9 weeks, according to the British government. It has started arresting people who are gonna get deported. This includes people who are in the UK illegally, criminals, and anybody else who's not needed in the UK. After it's done with Rwanda, it plans to have a similar project, have a similar scheme in Costa Rica, Armenia, and Ivory Coast. Yep. So Mr. Kwape, the foreign minister, said that Botswana was unable to accept the migrants because it was dealing with its own immigration issues. He said, and I quote, "The British government does not want these people in their country, so they want to bury them in a faraway country. To receive unwanted immigrants from another country while we are dealing with our own problems in the region would be unfair to Botswana." Oh, an African politician who can think, finally. So he said that the British government did not want these people in their country. They were looking to bury them in a faraway country. And Botswana was not gonna be one of those. That was what was happening in Botswana, with Botswana making a bold move, declining a request to host UK migrants, a decline that led to them being deported to Rwanda, which was willing to accommodate them. So that was Botswana. Let us head to Nigeria and Germany, where Germany has detained alleged Nigerian mafia members. So the mafias are suspected to be from a group called the Black Axe Gang, which is involved in multiple criminal activities globally. Globally, that is according to Bavarian police in a statement that I'm looking at right now. It says that it arrested the arrested suspects all hold Nigerian citizenship and are aged between 29 and 53. German police have arrested 11 Nigerian men suspected of being in a mafia group who orchestrated large scale dating scams. So these ones were involved in a dating scam. They would con people from dating sites, dating scams. The Black Axe gang, which is suspected to be the one that was arrested, has been involved in multiple criminal activity. That is according to the statement. The gang's main area of operation were human trafficking, fraud, money laundering, prostitution, and drug trafficking. All this looks so familiar when I talk about human trafficking, when I talk about fraud, when I talk about money laundering, when I talk about prostitution and drug trafficking. They look so familiar, especially in the Nigerian context. Even in Kenya, we had cases of femicide a few months ago, and most of the perpetrators were Nigerian citizens. So, as I said, majority of Nigerian people are good people. Majority of Nigerian citizens are peaceful, good people, but a small number of Nigerians are crooked. Crook. That is why Nigeria is getting chased away from each and every country, including in Africa. I might say this is German and it was because of racism. I might go that way, which might be true. But the truth is, Nigerians have been getting kicked out of each and every country in the world. They were kicked out of South Africa. They were kicked out of, they are getting kicked out of Ghana. Kenya deported about 16 of them last month. Tanzania is done with them. Uganda is done with them. So most of Nigerians are actually good people, hardworking people, but a small number of them is gonna make it really hard for the hardworking, honest Nigerians to find a place outside Nigeria. They said, for example, if you come to Kenya and you meet a Nigeria, the first impression you'll have is this is probably a con man. That is the first impression you're going to have. You can pretend, but that's the reality of the situation. Their image is so mad by a few individuals that even in this case, Germany might be a case of racism in German, but it is so hard for me to defend Nigerians knowing what they do in Kenya and what they've been doing in Tanzania. That's why they were kicked out of Tanzania, knowing what they do in South Africa, and them pulling saying that Africans are kicking them out despite the fact that they're their brothers. It's true they are our brothers, but at some point you have to stop playing the victim card and analyze yourself, look at yourself. You go to a country like Tanzania, they're from all over Africa in Tanzania. You're gonna find Ghanaians in Tanzania, you're gonna find people from Botswana in Tanzania, you're gonna find Burkinabe people in Tanzania, you're gonna find people from Chad in Tanzania. Why are Tanzanians only kicking Nigerians out? You have to ask that question. Why have we not had Tanzanians trying to kick Burkinabe people out? So in as much as they might want to pull the victim card, talk about, oh, we getting discriminated, there's a stereotype around Nigerian people. You created that stereotype and it's up to you to take away that stereotype by from dealing with your own people, because we had some that were deported from Kenya. They came back later. So they were deported and the Nigerian government was informed that we've deported these people back to your country because they were carrying out criminal activities in Kenya, but the government of Nigeria still sends them back to Kenya. So at some point, they have to take the blame. I don't know what happened in Germany. I'm not familiar with the story. I'm just reporting it as it is. I'm talking about the earlier cases that were happening in Africa where Nigerians were getting kicked out of South Africa, Nigerians were getting kicked out of Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda because of their criminal behaviors. A few of them, let me repeat, not the whole of Nigeria. So those are a group of Nigerians who were arrested and detained in Germany for being members of a gang that was called the Black Axe. It doesn't indicate how many of them were detained, but it is just I'm gonna be looking at that further. So that was what was happening in Germany, detaining Nigerians. In Chad, and I had Keith join me.
They detained them because they were singing BBL Drizzy. Yeah, the more. That's why.
I've just seen news that there was a shooting in his house.
In Drake's house.
They
That's
want to
right.
murder BBL
That's
Vinicius.
right. That's right. There was a shooting in his house. Everybody was around this thing. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
Why you trying to murder the Canadian boy?
Because he's a bitch ass, hoe ass, fake ass, fucking industry plant.
You
That's
can't.
why.
But you still don't have to murder him. Come on. Let
Ain't
BBL
nobody
Drizzy
trying.
live.
I think he probably trying to shoot himself. Like I said with this controversy, you notice the
Mhm.
other two industry plants kept their mouth shut. They better keep. Where's Cardi B at? Where's Nicki Minaj? They ain't said. Nicki Minaj is explaining why she ain't said shit. Because she knows she better keep her goddamn mouth shut. You better keep your mouth shut, bitch.
Mhm.
Keep your mouth shut. I love
They're
it.
just serving
Get
us with
off.
what you call.
Get up.
You call them, they're serving us with what you call. I heard you call them Nigananomics. They are giving us things to talk about so that we don't focus on the main
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah, that's true too. That
It's the
that
need, it's
that
the talk
yeah, it's
right
called
now.
yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, it's called distractions. But even though
Mhm.
the black people, you should be able to chew gum and walk down the street at the same time. You should be able to do two things at the same time. Because only reason why
Yeah, so the talk right
I,
now is yeah, it's true. I slept hungry yesterday. I slept under the bridge. But did you hear the new K dot geese on wreck? You know,
I'm only
life is
I'm
already
only
beefing you.
I'm
Life is
I'm
already beefing
already
you, bro. You're
I'm
sleeping under the bridge.
I'm only building it up because I'm happy for black people finally going after culture vultures and goddamn people put these people into our damn culture and they're there to do nothing but cause destruction to the culture. I mean, they can be black too. I mean, but saying
Mhm.
openly plants, you should be able to tell. People argue with me when I tell you somebody's a plant. Those you these people are plants. Everybody's like, yeah, they might be plants. You think? You think morons? You think? You think?
I,
Drake.
I can bet that this is the talk that is happening in the black community. What is the black community is talking about right now in the United States must be
Talk
the
about this.
this.
It, it's deep. It's not the beef really. It's the cultural appropriation. It's an awakening, and I'm good about it.
Mhm.
Black people now saying, "Hey, we got to start now gatekeeping our culture. We can't allow motherfucking people just to put people in our culture and make money off our backs and talk crazy to us and not even have no parts of the culture. Drake has so much exposed himself that he's not part of black culture. But this goofy motherfucker was saying he was going to Zimmerman Kendrick Lamar. This is a cracker de Moray that killed an innocent child, black kid. You gonna say you gonna Zimmerman another black person? You're so far detached.
I thought
Because like
his
I told you, these
I thought his
mulattoes
dad
are dangerous.
I thought his dad was black. I
And
thought his
because you
dad was
gotta,
black.
so what? Because you have a nigga that hate themselves, have a baby with a white woman, don't mean shit. You don't get no pass because you're a self-hating nigga. So what?
Yeah.
Your dad's black. So what? Your dad's black. So what?
Your
Self-hating
network have
nigga.
lost your
I'm here.
network is actually
Yeah, can you hear me?
your network is worse
Okay.
than all of Drake's songs.
See if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
See, making mulattoes are dangerous to Moray. They come back and do harm.
Mhm.
That's always been the history of African people. You make these half-breed people, they're dangerous. They come back and have contempt against you. You sitting there making
Mhm.
people that hate your own people, which don't make any sense. So, just because his daddy's a self-hating African American, he married some Jewish woman. They moved to, he never raised them as damn, that Jewish woman raised him up in Canada. He not even part of black community in America. His ass is raised in Canada with some Jewish woman. And he has the same kind of anti-black, anti-African feel because that's who raised his ass.
Mhm.
So you can't say you part of the black culture. You're talking about I'm a kill you like Zimmerman, and you talking about slavery, motherfucker. We have a soft spot
Mhm.
for us about slavery. What the fuck are you talking about? That's our goddamn history. You talking about you think you'll make jokes about our history? Then you seem like you part of our culture? Man, you out of your mind. He's been exposed
Mhm.
what a fake and phony he is. He's cosplaying. He's pretending to be black, Demore. He's cosplaying. Now he's getting caught out because he's cos. You can't pretend to be us. Either you are or you're not. You know, it's the whole thing that black people says
Yeah.
inviting people to the barbecue. You know, you're like, yeah, we're gonna invite you. You're cool enough to come to the barbecue. This is Eminem is cool enough to come to the barbecue. And I always said, hell no, he ain't. None of these bastards are cool enough to come to the black barbecue. We exclude these motherfuckers. So everybody's being checked. The total awakening. And that's why you ain't heard no Cardi B or no Nicki Minaj say a goddamn thing.
Mhm.
They know. They publish, hey, be quiet. Don't say nothing about this. It got nothing to do with you. But Drake is my friend. You better shut your mouth. You want to keep making money? You better shut your mouth. Better keep your mouth shut. Anyway, so I like the fact, but like I said,
So,
it's deeper than that because he's been dragged all on social media, especially on TikTok. I've never seen this on no TikTok. All of my feeds had people doing that BBL Drizzy song in different languages. People in Japan were doing it, in France, in England, in Spain. I was like, God damn! And that's how you know the people that actually run the industry are allowing Kendrick to do this. So, because somehow Drake signed that petition to have the Israelis stop bombing Gaza. So they're letting him know, no uncertain terms, you're supposed to shut your goddamn mouth. See, we know Run who owns the industry. They would have been called Kendrick and told him, hey, knock it off. Because Drake makes money for him. But I think they're dragging Drake so far to send him a message, but I don't think they realize they dragging him so far he won't be able to return. But they don't care. They own the industry. They'll bring another fake phony person up in there. But they destroying him beyond repair. He won't be able to repair himself. Ain't no PR gonna be able to come in unless he run around Africa. Like, yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna make my money in Africa. Dad, I was a little brush up, but I love all African people. Yeah. Nah. They told you don't even say the N word because
I,
you say it like a
yeah, I saw
colonizer.
you.
Say it
I saw
again.
you. I saw you talk about this yesterday with Joby. Was it yesterday that you're talking about this
Yeah.
on the
That was
show with
yesterday. Yeah,
Joby? Yes, it was
I talked
yesterday,
about.
if I'm not wrong.
That was yesterday. But I talked about today on when they lost. You guys lost Paul with
Mm-hmm.
Maria and Sento, and also the topic. Shout out to everybody who was with us on TikTok, me on Twitter. We had 2,000 in the live on Twitter, so we had 2,000 views in there
And shout out
listening
to
to it.
Twitter for the shadow ban because shout out to Twitter for the shadow ban because they'll make sure nobody of the 2000 leaves a follow or come back to the video.
No one ever follows. We have
And then
2 or 3 thousand people on the live
before we
streams.
have to get back, let us talk about
I'm
the
back. You can't hear
infrastructure
me?
in Africa and how you already back.
I thought I was back. I didn't know I went nowhere. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. Good morning. BBL Drizzy. I know. Big Cheese, I know Big Cheese has been seeing it. He's on Twitter. I mean, he's on TikTok like me. I know he's been seeing all these parodies of this dude. This shit has been hilarious.
But they have confirmed that somebody was shot at Drake's
I know I'm sick of it.
window
Yeah, I'm sick.
house, but it wasn't Drake. That is the only confirmation that they have given that
Okay, well, then,
it
yeah, people mad and
someone who was
upset.
shot, not BBL Drizzy.
Yeah, see? Hey, with BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. Damn. They dragging this cat. It's crazy.
Allegations
Oh,
being
yeah.
thrown left, right, and center about him being a pedophile, about
He,
him.
he is a pedophile. Most of them are pedophiles. And they be called. He said, you know you're a pedo. All them pedos. Jay-Z's a pedophile. PD's a pedophile. Most of them are pedophiles. They've been hit by the industry. Now they found this is the season, Demore, of coming out and exposing these bastards.
Yeah.
Expose they no good asses. Yeah, the pedophiles, Demore. It's not like it's not an unknown thing. It's just that the industry allowed them to get away with it, and people didn't know you were allowed to speak about it. But yeah, they're all pedophiles. They all sleep with young girls. They're pedos. So now everybody's being exposed. You know, Jay Z's a pedophile. That's a known fact. P Diddy's a known pedophile and a homosexual. That's a known fact. So you know, they being, and that's what I'm saying. Like I said to Maria, somebody is allowing them to say that because they would have called them and said, "Okay, that's enough. That's enough. You agree? That's enough. Knock it off." But hey, they're not saying that because they own the industry. Somebody would have said, "That's enough. Knock it off," and they haven't said it. So I'm like, they allowed this to happen. They want it out there. They want this out there.
Yeah, you made you actually made me look at some of the videos here, and they're so hilarious. The BBL Drazy videos. Before we come back to before we, I have to share this one before we before we come back to before we come back to have to share this one.
Now we got the biggest, most voluptuous, gargantuan, delicious, nutritious Brazilian butt. Come on, man.
Cause you a sex offender, semen spreader, gang banging like pretender, switching gender.
There's 1,000 videos. They destroyed his ass.
Girl, I think you got that fatty. I'm just trying to see you shake. Maybe you're really my daddy. Gotta check that DNA. Lost all your money, gambling. Now you've been double for state. I just wanna let you hit it. That on Sunday in the end. You got a heart in your head. You my little funky bad. Drizzy, why you have to show us what's beneath your underwear? But BBL, Drizzy, gotta make that booty.
This one is hilarious too.
And you straight at a cat on my little maple leaf. All these dogs in the pound only want you on my leash. I don't wanna hear your rap. Put your hands on your knees. Put your hands on your knees. Put your hands on your knees. Come on, shake that ass straight. Yeah, shake that ass for me. Fuck that cupcake EDP. Taking kids like B.H.F.N. Need no book on parenting. This shit's quite embarrassing.
You almost fully hard shit in your head. Fall my dust, give a straight to your neck. You better straight as some lesbian sex when I come on your back. No, I'm coming correct. You rep the city that nobody care about. But that talking just getting your whereabouts. Cause I'm coming with shooters. We fought about losers. Your fans, me already hit them out. We'll pop the
BBL Drizzy.
like who is scared?
BBL Drizzy.
Yep, he said you're a puppet and an industry plant.
The city that nobody care about. But that talking just getting
Yeah,
your
everybody knows he's a puppet. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B are puppets industry plans, Demoric. Most of them are. It's just that people finally waking up. Yeah.
Scared, I'm pressing the van, about to be a man now. Is that your man's a predator man, child? Don't act like you don't know me. This booty is your bony. That shit make me so horny. Your max spin is baloney. Your booty had a glow up. My penis about to blow up. That's BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
Shout out to BBL Drizzy.
There's 1,000 of these songs, Demore, in different languages, in Japanese, in French, in Chinese, in English, in Spanish. They destroying it. And there's a new one that Drake just dropped. I mean, new one that Kendrick just dropped another one this morning. That shit, I'm listening at the Canvas and Joby haven't played on the show tonight. That shit is funny. Call him a pedo. You're not gonna get out of that. We know you're a pedo, nigga. we got the pictures of you. I think he said Drake might have staged this shooting to get Kendrick off. He might have had to get Kendrick off his ass. He might have had staged the shoot. I don't know. Is that a house in Canada, Des Moines? Or does Drake still live in Canada, or is that in America? Where's that house at? Is that house in Canada? Looks kind of warm for Canada up
It's
there
in
right
America, if I'm not.
now. Yeah. Where does Drake stay at? Does he still live in Canada, or does he live down in America? Where's that house at?
It's in Toronto. It's in Canada.
Okay, it's okay. Yes, yes. So he still stays up there. You goofy fake nigga. You get dragged. You BBL Drizzy
They have
in
actually confirmed.
Canada.
They have actually confirmed because his security guard was shot outside his house,
Now, why would somebody shoot a security guard?
and
Yeah, it sounds like it stays to me. It sounds like Big Cheese may
they're
be
saying
right.
that they're saying
I'm
that
listening.
Drake was seriously injured in the incident.
See, he was injured. See? See? That's what I'm saying. This sounds like some stage shit to Moray. Then stage. He's fake. He's phony. Trying to save his. He's trying to stage some shit to try to save his career. Oh, leave him alone. Leave little poor Drakey alone. He got shot. Fuck him. Fuck his ass.
So he's saying Drake might have staged his shooting to get Kendrick off his ass. Might
Yeah, because
have,
it is.
but yeah, it might
Yeah,
be.
because they're destroying his career. He's not gonna be. He's not gonna be destroyed. Not just. It's not just a beef song anymore.
They
He's
even
being
had,
destroyed.
they even
They destroyed his
had
career.
they had his house that owned by Drake. His house. was reading that it is owned by Kendrick Lamar.
Right, because
Anyway, let us look at some other.
he got the security guard dancing to BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy. He caught him dancing. Drake tried to shoot his ass. You my security guard. What you doing?
Let us
Go
let us
ahead.
finish the show with Burkina Faso, where in Burkina Faso, the Human Rights Watch reported something a few weeks ago, which had the BBC and the VOA banned out of Burkina Faso. It reported that 223 people were killed. The Burkinabe army never denied the killings of the 223 people, but it denied having anything to do with them. And so today it has once again said that it has started investigating the killings that happened in the two northern villages in February. So one thing that we can establish is it is actually true that 223 villagers, civilians, were killed in two villages on February. I really, among them were 56 children and 100 and something, 50 something adults. So they denied having anything to do with it, but they have not denied the killings. So I don't know what do you think happened, Kit? Who killed the 223 people? Because one thing is for sure,
I've got enough
223
information.
civilians were killed.
I've got enough information. Usually, probably the damn jihadists, the Europeans, back. I know it wasn't the government. The government's in good hands now, so I don't know. I can't. I've got enough information to
So
make that determination.
the BBC was reporting that it was a revenge mission by the Abiy army because the
I don't believe
villagers
that.
were allegedly. So, according to the BBC, I'm saying what the BBC said. The villagers were allegedly housing the jihadists. They were the ones who were hiding them, and the jihadists would kill the Burkinabe army. So, the Burkinabe army, in a revenge mission, it actually used the word revenge mission. The Burkinabe
Uh,
army, on a revenge mission, executed the 100 plus people. That is according to the BBC, which was
I don't believe
banned
that.
from operating in Burkina Faso.
I don't believe that whatsoever. Doesn't make logical sense. I don't believe it.
So that is what is happening in Burkina Faso. But it is sad when we
Mm.
have 200 plus people getting killed, among them children, and of course,
Yeah, no reason
nothing
for
is
them
going to
to.
happen. The Burkinabe
No,
army said it is going to have investigations into the same. I don't see what they are investigating. I don't really get what the investigation is about.
but they want to know who's responsible for it. Oh, how you doing? Give me a second tomorrow.
Nah, yeah, so that was what was happening in Burkina Faso. And lastly, before Keith comes back, as I end the show, Kamlesh and Joby are coming up in a bit with their show. I know they have a lot today in regards to BBL, Drazy, and a lot of other things. As we come to the end, the US has agreed temporarily, it used the word temporarily, pull its troops out of Chad So this announcement comes after the Chad Air Force chief ordered the US to halt activities at an airbase near the capital. The capital is called N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. So looks like the US agreed, but they used the word temporarily pull troops out of Chad. So temporarily is not really assuring, but it's progress. So the US will withdraw its troops from Chad in the next few weeks. That is what
I
the
don't
US
believe that.
Pentagon press secretary
I don't believe
Matt
that. That's
Ryder
what they
said
said.
on Thursday.
That's what they said about
Yeah, they said they are
Niger, and
gonna
they
pull
haven't
them
did.
out.
I don't believe it. Unless they're
The
forced to do
difference
it.
between the two is this: Niger Niger has not really in Chad. The Chad Air Force chief ordered the US to vacate. It was an order.
It,
In
it was
Niger, I
about
don't know what
Niger too.
observations are in Niger, because in Niger it is not an order. It was protests that were happening. It was civilians who were protesting. That
Oh,
was why the
they
US said Niger was giving it mixed signals, because it wasn't a straightforward order.
yeah, they
And as
did.
much as they know they are wanted,
They came back and told them get the hell out. It
are
was a
they
straight
out of
order.
Niger yet? I don't think they are.
No, because remember the Russians came in. The Russians came in
Yeah,
to the same base now.
in Chad, it was the army chief who ordered them out. And the US had to release a statement saying that they're gonna get out in the next few weeks. But anyway, we are here. We are gonna see what is gonna happen in the next few weeks. We're gonna see if it is a bluff, as Truth is calling it, or indeed
Yeah.
the US is going to withdraw
Chad was
from Nigeria.
Chad was telling them BBL Drizzy, America.
I'm actually about to end the show because BBL, Kamlesh and Joby are coming up in a bit. With, of course, they're gonna be telling you more about BBL, Drazy, and
Tomorrow
Ziva
try not
Java.
to tomorrow try not to laugh. Try not to laugh.
Ziva Java is saying that he knew nothing about this till you sang it in the morning. In the morning, you sang BBL. You sang BBL Drazy in the morning.
Yeah, I sung it in the morning. It was
So,
it was it was on my algorithm all night tomorrow, all day. So then now, if I go to my algorithm, I gotta send this song to Joby and Campus haven't played on a song. It's a new one with
they're coming.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, so shout out to BBL Drizzy. And you're going to end the show with BBL Drizzy, of course. I hope you join me tomorrow on to Bonge
Oh
from
yes,
4
ma'am.
p.m. and later on
Quick, thank you.
Black Hot Fire News Update. That is if Kenya Power has the Black Hot Fire News Update. And this is BBL Drizzy.
Oh,
Right,
voluptuous
BBL Drizzy.
gargantuan,
I
delicious,
love this
nutritious,
song.
Brazilian butt. Come on, man.
Cause you a
That just
sister,
that
fat,
just
scheming,
that just
spreading,
one
gang, banging
that's
like
just
we
one
famous
version
for
of it,
teaching. Now
Demore.
you feel better, Drizzy.
That's
Get
just
your
one
shit
version.
together. Keep
There's
that
like ten
cocaine.
thousand.
I'm
There's
just
like
trying to
ten
see you
thousand
shake your
versions of that shit
Look,
now. It's like 10,000 versions of that shit. That's just one version, Demore. It's like 10,000 versions in different languages too.
you, you need to let this Canadian boy rest now. He's trying to heal his BBL and you're out here dissing him.
you're really my daddy. Got
See
a
you
check.
tomorrow on the Black Hot Fire News Update. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Jiba Jaba and the rest of the family, Big Cheese, and everybody else was with me. This has been Dimore. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out of here. And I'm going to leave you with BBL Drizzy, of course. I
Enjoy being
love
a
this shit.
BBL. Enjoy being a BBL Drizzy.
When now you bend over for state, I just wanna let you hit it. That on Sunday in the end, you got a heart in your head. You my little cookie bad. Drizzy, why you have to show